And we have some time for questions now, and I'm told that each of the schools was asked to pick a designated question asker. So I'm just going to go down the list and see if you guys, who's representing each school. Eagle Academy, do you have a designated question asker? And questions can be, share questions, share thoughts. It can be for any one of us. There's debate. Okay, whoever's, yeah. Stand up, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, microphone's coming.
There you go.
Okay, one question I do have to ask you guys. You guys are giving us your stories and telling us about how nuclear weapons are bad, and obviously war is bad. I have one question. What would you tell, not us, but like our children's children who don't really, well, they'll hear about World War II, but they won't really know what it is like us, but they're so further down the line that they won't even realize it. What would you say to them? Like, further down the line where technology is better, what would you say to them?
No, because we're young.
Yeah. Well, what you're saying to future generations, their grandchildren, nuclear weapons, what would you tell them about the dangers? What would you tell them about what happened? What would you say, speaking ahead 2 generations?
ですから今の生きている私たちが次の世代の人たちのためになくすように努力をしていかなくてはならないと思うんです。皆様方もそんなに戦争をしていらっしゃる方ではないですし、日本なんかももう3分の2以上が戦争を知らない世代です。ですから本当に私たちは今焦っているわけです。被爆2世などもいますけれども、これからとにかく一生懸命になってこの歴史の事実、辛くても悲しくてもその事実を残して教育の場でもそれを残していかなくてはならないと思います。そして伝えていかなくてはならないと思っています。
I completely understand your sentiment on wanting to hear what we would say to the future generations. However, I believe that it is extremely important that we put our efforts towards right now today, because there are so many nuclear weapons out there right now in this world. Ourselves, already there are so many people that have no experience or know anything directly about the wars. Even in Japan, 2/3 of the population know nothing about war. So in a sense, we as Hibakusha, our generations, we're, in a sense, panicking as to how we can do as much as we can to abolish all nuclear weapons from this world. And in order to do so, it is very important that we keep a record, continue to relay the facts of history, especially on an educational realm.
And just to add to that something quickly that was said yesterday when we were doing this, if your grandchild comes to you years from now and wants to know, you can tell him or her that you've heard firsthand what it was like. So it becomes your responsibility to carry that as well. KO Academy, designated question asker.
日本語で質問させていただきます。山田さんは教育を戦時中受けれなかったとおっしゃいましたが、その後どのように教育を受けたんですか？
The question is, Ms. Yamada, you said that you did not receive any education during that time. So how did you receive education thereafter?
戦時中はですね、軍隊の学校を使っていましたから全く受けなかったわけではないんです。半分都会にいていなくて、そして私たち半分残っている人たちはほとんど行進とか手旗信号をしていました。しかし、広島は教育圏なんです。それで私たち終戦になりまして原爆が落ちて9月の終わり頃にはもう2学期の学校が始まりました。大変早い教育でした。そして教科書もそんなにいいものではありませんでしたけれども、一生懸命にもうその年のうちに私たちは学校の勉強が始まり、次の年はまだ次の中学に上がるための受験勉強が始まります。大変早く教育が始まっています。
Although I said that there was hardly any education, it doesn't mean that we didn't all have any education. What happened is that half were able to continue with their education, and half of the children were duty to be in the work corps. And this is one reason is because the schoolyards or the school buildings were being utilized by the military. However, in Hiroshima, education is a vital factor of the society. So we were back into education mode fairly quickly. After the bomb was dropped, by the end of September, many of the schools had already started over again. Of course, we didn't have any good textbooks or anything of that sort, but by the end of the year, we were already taking our tests in order to get to the next level of education.
Marble Hill.
Were you able to forget about the images of the bomb? How did you overcome the tragedy, mentally, emotionally speaking?
原爆のことを忘れることはできません。
It is impossible to forget about the atomic bombing.
今でもやはり光ね、ピカッと光った時のことは忘れません。
What remains in my mind is that flash of light.
そして人々がこのやけどをして、そしてこの水をくださいっていうようにこの求めていたそのことを子供ながら見た時に忘れるものではないです。
When I witnessed many people, severely burned people, were saying, "Please give me some water. Please give me some water," and that scene will never goes away.
だけど70年近く生きてきて、少しずつ忘れていくんですが、やはりその時のことを皆さんに知ってもらいたいというのが一番です。
It's been about almost 70 years since then, and what I really want to do is I want you to know what I experienced.
以上です。
That's it.
I school. Designate. Said I got that right?
So,
Oh, there we go.
what do you guys think about nuclear power, like power plants and uranium and stuff?
どうぞ。
原発のことはやはり私どもは大変敏感に反応しました。やはり原爆と原発は恋の裏表で、できれば自然エネルギーに変えてほしいという日本でも大きな運動も起きています。そして私たちはいち早く 原発になった人たちの救援、そしてまたその人たちの健康については東京電力と政府に障害を通じてその人たちの健康管理は必ずしてほしいという要望を出しております。
Of course, especially with what happened at the Fukushima Daiichi power plant, we were very, very sensitive as to what was happening. We strongly believe that nuclear power plants and nuclear weapons are but both sides of one coin. So we would really, really like for the world to change to natural energy. Also, we as Hibakusha have been pleading to TEPCO, the energy company that owned the Fukushima Daiichi power plant, to find a way to support health-wise and also financially the people that were victims of the accident.
今日本には50の原発があります。54。
Currently in Japan, there are 54 nuclear reactors.
そのうち稼働しているのは今ないと思います。
Currently, none of them are operating.
だけどこの会社、いわゆる電力会社が、稼働させたいというのがいろいろなところから出ているんです。
But as you can imagine, nuclear power plant companies and other industries are pushing for reopening nuclear reactors right now.
地方自治体は動かさないと言っても国の政策というのがあってそこでいろいろ難しい状況はあります。
There's a very difficult situation between local municipalities who are against reopening nuclear power plants and policy of the nation who is willing to reopen the nuclear reactors. Thank you.
We have about 3 minutes left. We still have New York Harbor School and Young Women's Leadership School. Do you guys have designated question answers and askers? And maybe the questions are close enough we can field both. If not, we're sunk. Okay.
I was wondering what some other methods you guys suggest for solving conflict besides nuclear weapons and war. Yeah.
What?
私はやはり理想的なのは対話だと思っています。しかしそれが非常に不可能な場合も今世の中を見ますとありますけれども、やはり武力というのは決して使ってはいけないと思っていますので、理想は対話と思っていますけど、皆さんはどのように思っていらっしゃいますか。今までいろいろなことが今起きていますけれども、私の方からも聞きたいと思うことがあります。
Of course, for me personally, the ideal would be to communicate and have discussions and talk. I believe that we should never utilize power or force.
Work with Robert in the Hibakusha Stories project, and we have a gift for each of the schools. We are a partner to ICANN, the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons. There's a student action guide that we'd like to give to each of your schools. Also, a film that I made with Bob Richter, which is about Nagasaki and Fukushima. So showing the connections between the two and also showing the survivors' stories. It has a study guide in here and also different things that you as students can do. And just last week at the United Nations is a new book published by the UN called Action for Disarmament, 10 Things You Can Do. So we really encourage your librarians to order this book. And you all have heard these stories, and it's really important that you feel empowered to do something about this and other issues that, are assailing your generation. To be frank, there's a lot of problems with our world, but there are a lot of things that we can do. And I think you will find that when you get together and use your precious lives to make a difference in our world, your life will gain more meaning, and you'll meet new people, you'll have interesting experiences. So there's a lot that we can do. So let's work together to make a more peaceful world for ourselves and for the future generations that were evoked in the earlier questions. Thank you very much.
Thanks to everyone for participating. Would you please give another round of applause to all the speakers today? Yamada-san, Hakaria-san, and Mr. Daniel for being here with us and share your stories. That's really great. And thank you very much for all participating. And